Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session brought to you by Shiksha Study Abroad. Students, this is an informative session about the Australia University and the education that is being provided to international students by the Australian universities. So here we are going to discuss about the opportunities that you will discover in Australia if you're applying to universities in Australia. Before we move further, I would like to introduce our presenters who will be doing this session for us. Gayatri, if you'll move to the next slide. So our first presenter is Ms. Gayatri Kant. She is the Destination Manager for Australia at Shiksha. She has a vast experience of working in the international education domain since 1998, especially in overseas education. Her intensive expertise in the field of overseas educational counseling, her good grasp of international universities and programs have helped her in guiding and providing need-based services to students. Besides counseling her clients, Gayatri enjoys gardening and learning new facts in the global market. Our second presenter is Ms. Akanksha Kapoor. She is the Mentor Counseling for Australia at Shiksha Study Abroad. She is an MBA with over 9 years of experience in overseas study counseling, training, and development and admissions. She possesses a skill in end-to-end counseling and client servicing, expertise in handling UG and PG aspirants for Australia and New Zealand, expertise in providing right directions to students from admissions to visa processing. I welcome both the presenters who will be doing this session for all of us. Student, an important note for all of you. If you have questions that you want to ask our presenters, I will request you to please post your questions in the question section. We will take all the questions at the end of the session. If you wish to ask questions directly to Gayatri and Akanksha, you can click on the raise hand tab. Shiksha will unmute you and you can ask your questions directly to them. I will now request Akanksha to please start with the session.
Hi everyone. Before we actually go on to the point, I would like to give you a brief introduction about what Shiksha Study Abroad is. So we at Shiksha, we deal with 56 countries across over 2,000 universities and nearly about 70,000 courses with great extended help and support to the students, to about 2,000 plus scholarship, which are available on as in readily available for reference on our Shiksha website as well. And to give you a more insight about Shiksha, we have 1,000 plus student enrollment. So this is the best thing about Shiksha. If I tell you more about our services, you can also go on shikshastudyaabroad.shiksha.com, apply, wherein you can see that we've got tremendous rating for about 4.7 by 5, wherein these are verified views of the students who have been in touch with us so far. Going ahead, just to give you more insights about why Shiksha, Shiksha provides you perfect and free guidance. So free guidance to study abroad journey from admission to visa processing. We have a very transparent process. You don't have to come back to us for each and everything on the admissions or probably on any mid stage. We have that process for you, which is very student centric and data driven. So there is no hassle. We have choices of universities. So per se 250 plus universities across 10 plus countries, and with 100% online counseling available through video sessions, WhatsApp, Skype, MS Teams. So this is a comfort for you from home. So going ahead, I'll ask Ms. Gayatri to take you through the sessions of the topic to be covered today.
Good evening, audience. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. We are going to cover up some topics. Most important one is the new guidelines for the international student, post-study work opportunities, scholarships and the admissions guidelines, skills enhancements and work integrated learning, and global career prospects. So I'll give you a little overview towards Australia. When it comes to the destination, it is quite evident that it is one of the most popular destinations among Indian students. So if you see in Australia, the total enrollments for the international student between January to December, it's 570,000, 626 approx. So this makes us one of the pioneer with regard to destination. So whenever there's a question comes, why Australia is the most popular destination? So this is quite evident with the students' enrollment. Know about new guidelines for international students. So the visa subclass 500 now giving an opportunity to the students that after the openings of the borders, Australia is welcoming the fully vaccinated students to come and join them. Temporary subclass 408 visa for international students. Under this category, students can join the employment opportunities in the critical sectors, and they can even work more than 40 hours in a fortnight time. The most important aspect which I like to address over here is the genuine temporary entrant. This is a key element when it comes to the student visa for Australia. It is important to understand that previous study needs to be related to your career progression. Gap in your previous studies up to 6 to 8 months, gap is acceptable in Australia. More than that, one has to explain it. What are the reasons for the gap? Employment records. So keep the employment records properly documented, which means the date of entry and the date of exit. Ties back home is one of the most important aspects when it comes to the genuine temporary entrant, that why would you come back home, which indicates that you should have a good research that once I finish my qualification, what kind of opportunities I am having in India and in a global market. I will leave few points here with Akansha as well to explain. Furthermore, the economic situation in home country and employment opportunities. Take over, Akansha, for further this.
Okay, so to add on to this, fully vaccinated students, I would like to explain that you should have the complete like 1 and 2nd doses of your COVID vaccination done to you be eligible to travel without exemptions. And you should always carry this certificate, although this is not required by admission universities, but this is required for the visa for a travel. Coming to the genuine temporary entrant point, so rightly mentioned by Gayatri, this is a more critical and very crucial part of the visa for Australia. And herein, like she covered all these points, just to add on to it, your economic ties to the home country, the situation in your home country not only means your parents here, but it has to be something really strong. The reasons for you to come back to the country in terms of maybe some assets that you have, probably, to show the growth and employment opportunities in the home country. In addition to it, there are a lot of other factors that can be added. For example, you might have your dependents here, probably could be a spouse. So these are some areas for economic ties that you need to consider, which has to be really strong in terms of you to, make yourself GTE, which is again genuine temporary entrant to the visa, to the embassy.
Post-study work opportunities, usually between 3 to 5 years. Extra benefits to the students in a regional area. Postgraduate students get benefit to studying, staying in Australia up to 5 years after the completion of the post studies. So over here, I would like to take few more minutes just to explain that after the completion of the graduation from an approved institution, students can apply 3 to 5 years as a post benefits. Extra benefits, again, indicates by the immigration people that yes, under the regional areas, you have extra benefits to stay and extend your further stay permission, right? And I'll leave this last one. Postgraduate students can get benefit to staying in Australia up to 5 years post completion of their qualification to a country.
So initially, as an earlier, before the borders opened up, so we had students had this provision of applying for post-study work visa in major cities like Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane for up to 2 years. And now, as per the immigration, they're giving extension of +1 year to all students in terms of benefits for them to study in Australia, utilize time. So it has been extended to about 3 to 5 years. This also depends upon the region of study, right? So, the regional area benefits remains to the regional area itself. But yeah, the post-study work permit, the stay back, you get extra in these major cities as well now.
Scholarships. So I would like to cover up over here. The Australian government offered a substantial scholarship benefits to the international student. There is a huge investment. It's close to be like 200 million pounds. Australian government is offering to the students through university partners in line with the scholarships to international students. International scholarships are furthermore bifurcated into the different states. So each state is offering various scholarships to the meritorious students under the various category. So like Queensland, you can go up to 25% of the scholarship. New South Wales, again offering up to 30% of the scholarships to the student. Victoria is offering merit scholarship as well as STEM scholarships up to 20%. South Australia is offering 50% on the merit candidates. Western Australia is also on the same line, 40% on the meritorious performing students. So Tasmania and Capital Territory is also offering the same benefits to the students. So the merit or the academic brilliance of the student are the core criteria when it comes to the scholarship. But yes, it's an enormous benefits to the students. If they are falling under the category, the grants is available to students. Yeah, Akansha like to say something?
Yeah, so these scholarships, be it university specific or state specific, they are all on the merit basis of the students. So there are some university specific scholarship, or say some of the universities are specific in terms of giving scholarship, but then there is always a criteria. So you have to be meritoriously very strong. In case the benefits extend up to 50% or more than 30%, I would say, then there has to be some additional pointers in your resume, some contribution towards society, something that has to be over and above only your academics. So those students definitely would get that benefit, and this is why Australia is one of the most popular destination. So they are very favorable. They are very much in terms of student benefits. So this is something that every student willing to go to Australia can take benefit of.
Skill enhancement and the work integrated learning. So when you look at Australia, the destination is always, the education system is monitored by AQF, that is Australian Qualification Framework. SOS Act is always in favor of students while they're studying in Australia. The professional accreditations further enhance your knowledge and the skills, and it can give you benefit as well. Work integrated learning is very much available right now under the curriculum. It basically gives an opportunity to develop hands-on training into the real world situation. So the learning is not from the theory, it gives you an opportunity to enhance your skill set in a real environment. The wages rates are pretty fine for international student. It goes up to 18.93 per hour to 23.66 for the casual worker. Internships are also one of the most important aspect when it comes to the learning. So I'll leave this topic for Akansha because this is very interesting and very relevant in the global market when a student wants to have the hands-on learning apart from the books.
So internships, in Australia, they are usually a part of the course curriculum in terms of professional degrees, because this plays a very important role at the end of your education once you complete your studies. So this will, a suggestion to the students is these internships are usually, helped and provided by Australian universities to students who at least meet or pass the minimum grading system. So this is, something very important that every student going to Australia should focus on. These will actually help you at the end of the day when you look into the job fairs or career fairs and help you in the employment opportunities later on. So, you look into the universities wherein the internship opportunity is likely there, and the universities guide you through as well on the same.
Popular courses and global career prospects. So now over here, we would like to cover up some of the popular courses for which, Australia is globally leader. So coming to the computer science, artificial intelligence, computer science and information technology, software and computer science engineers are in high demand worldwide. With AI as its specialized degree and the machine learning, data management and the banking provide excellent opportunities across the globe. Engineers are always the backbone to any country with regard to development and the growth. So engineers are the global players. Engineering qualification you can select under the categories of chemical engineering, electrical, electronics, communication, software, mechanical, industrial engineering are in high demands. Data science and earth science is again a very popular area when it comes to the geographical situation of Australia. Australia is known for natural resources for geology, coal, gas, and mining areas. So data science and earth science is again a popular course among the international student. Keeping in mind the environment and the sustainability and the conservation of environment, it is very important to understand the earth science. I'll over this conversation further to Akansha to cover up business, biotech, tourism, and hospitality sector.
So business, as you would already know, it's very popular. Okay, so there are a lot of programs with relevance to business. So, for example, you have specializations, you have Masters of Business International as well. So therein you can do more specialization. You all can also opt for a general degree in management. With regards to biotech, it's a very niche program. Students do go for biotechnology, bioinformatics. You would find universities now offering a dual degree course as well to the students in terms of biotechnology and bioinformatics. So this is a very high demanding program, plus with good opportunities. Tourism and hospitality, Australia is always popular, and it's an tourism destination. So you would find really good universities offering the program. Health and psychology, definitely yes. So nursing, you have health service management, you have healthcare, you have psychology. These courses are very, very popular. Just to add on here, the requirement for English is high in some of these courses. So you really need to look into the details when you go into the university website. Also, these programs, would require some prerequisites. So, you can always come up to us and, talk in detail about it. Also, I would like to know if in case you people have or you students have any questions till now, so that we can address it on the right time.
Yeah, students, if you have questions that you want to ask, I will request you to post your questions, or either you can click on the raise hand tab. Akanksha and Gayatri will be there to answer your questions. So I'll take a question, which is a common question from 2-3 students regarding that the universities in Australia are picky about few locations in India from where they do not pick students. So there have been questions like regions like some from Punjab and Haryana, universities are not picking students. So is it still there with the universities that they are still not looking up for students from region like Haryana and Punjab, or the universities are now open for these regions?
Thank you, Lakshmi, for picking up the question. So the Australian government or Australian universities have not really restricted. So it's not all universities that are not taking the students from these areas. These are definitely the high risk zones, including some from the south and some from the west. But yes, if the profile is really good, if the student is genuine, we definitely can put them into some Australian universities, considering the fact that every student is different and every profile is different. So it's not rightly mentioned that they are completely not taking any student from these locations.
Okay, I'll take one more question, and then I think we can move ahead with the presentation. So this is going to be a live question. So the student I'm going to unmute is Manjeet Singh. Manjeet, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question. Manjeet, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, I just want to know, I am asking for my son. He is appearing in class 12th right now, but his scores are 87% in class 10th, and he also did his IELTS, which is he got 7 bands each. And but now when we want to get the admission, his tentative scores are very less in class 12 because he was preparing for US and SAT exams. So can we apply for Australia with 65% marks which are tentative given by the school?
Sir, good evening. I would like to understand what discipline is he looking for?
He's looking for computer science actually.
Looking for the computer science. Just kindly
Yeah.
ask him to focus on mathematics, because mathematics is the core subject which will help him to give an advantage. Yes, what you can
He's
do in a circumstances, you can keep little, selective, make a dream choice as well as a reach options as well, right? So we can make an application between high universities and the second tier universities as well, but maths will be the one key component. So just ask him to keep the focus on mathematics.
No, he has already scored good in maths. He scored 96% in 10th, but due to pandemic and because I think he was focusing on US and other things, he was focusing on SAT and all those things. So in the month of April and May, the school has conducted the exams, he got only 65%, but he's sure that he'll get 80 to 90% in final exams. So can we put his file right now for the September intake with this type of scenario?
So, sir, to add on, SAT, since he's given SAT, you're saying, so he seems to be a really genuine student to go to study. So his SAT
Yeah.
exam, the marks would also matter. So we'll have to create a complete profile. It's very generic to talk here because his SAT marks would also work. And then, you're saying he's still to appear in class 12. So his class 12 marks
Yeah.
would also work. And we always have an explanation to give it to the university. So if you can share your documents to us, which we'll share in the last slide also, where you can drop us, we'll get back to you by tomorrow. We can have a detailed video session if you can confirm a time, and we can give you, the right university choice and the right line where he can go through, because he still have time for class 12 examination. So we can guide you better. But yes, he has an
Yeah,
option to Australia.
Okay. We just want that he will go to the good universities in the top 3 or 4 like that.
Of course, sir.
So that we'll definitely let you know once we have a complete profile and we can get into details. So probably if you
Okay.
can drop us, yeah.
One more question, ma'am. That would be little or I'll discuss later after this thing. Like I was just want to know about the scope of computer science in Australia. Like we were exploring in US also, but what is it a good scope for computer science in Australia also?
Definitely, yes, sir. As covered in our previous slide, it is a very popular program. Plus, you can check in the skill occupation list. It shows that it is in demand, which means the need of professionals is required in the same field.
Yeah, on
Oh,
the same, accreditation makes us further more global. So if you look at the courses, those are accredited courses. Australian Computer Society, Informatics, or Engineering Council of Australia. So it makes him a perfect global candidate in future after the completion of studies. So
okay.
we'll look forward to receive his documents to guide you the perfect advice to start the process for the July next year.
Okay. Not for July next year. We were looking for September this year or the January intake or February intake.
Perfect, sir. Let's just start the process with the documents.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manjeet. Now I will request Akanksha and Gayatri to please proceed with the presentation. We will take rest of the questions at the end of the session.
Sure. So we are resuming to the same, that students' benefits. Stay in Australia between 2 to 5 years of the post-study benefits to you after the completion of the studies. Regional benefits are always very important for students because it opens to the temporary graduate visa after the completion of the studies. Courses are in collaboration with industries, further add skills to expand knowledge to advance career path on a global market, which is very, very important in the today's scenario when the things are more competitive and the job market is open to the skilled and the knowledgeable candidates. The scholarship further make Australia is one of the most favorable destination because it appreciates your academics, it appreciates your knowledge, it appreciates your skill set. So the appreciation giving through some scholarships always makes you a first line performer. So be the part of this scholarship group, start early application so that we can help you with this advantage. I'll refer to Akanksha to brief us on the intake because very important right now sitting in the to target July intake.
Yeah, so with respect to intake, I believe if you've researched about Australia, you would know that February and July are the major intakes for Australian admissions. We being in the month of March now, we have a July intake. So basically, when we talk about admission processing, it's the right time to start because the process for Australia takes time. That also depends upon a lot of other factors, your finances, your degree completion and other things. So post July we also have a mid-year intake which is November, but to mention here that we do not have all the programs. So if you're looking at programs like business, IT, and in those areas, then you would definitely be able to meet November. But July being a major intake, we appreciate students to go in the major semester so that you are able to get along with other students as well and able to complete your studies in the right direction. Also, when we talk about temporary graduate visa, this is the regional benefit visa that the students are getting. That's on the study in the regional area. You can also get this information on the immigration website. Just to elaborate on this, regions like Wollongong, Newcastle, Perth, and other areas, they give you extra benefits, post your completion of studies. So this is something which is very benefiting to the students, and also this is something which is capturing more market for Australia in terms of education plus benefits, because the return on investment is what I believe every student is looking at the end of the day. So if you're looking on that, investing money and looking for return as well, then Australia seems to be the best destination.
I would like to hear elaborate a little on the collaboration. This indicates that there is lots of collaborative activities between India and Australia, which again strengthens to the parents, to the student community, that lots of activities are happening in this sector. So if you look at some of the activities, which is very much happening in all the sectors, it comes to the political collaboration between India and Australia. So there are technical independence. So they're working on supply network, key commodities like pharmaceuticals, medical equipments in order to create a stable Indo-Pacific region. So this is one of the very positive initiative taken by the government. So when it comes to the destination, you can see there is a mutual support available on both the fronts. So everybody wants that the student must get the best environment where they can see themselves, they're growing, they're the part of the industry, they're the part of the growth, they're the part of the global environment. So that is the most important part while I'm covering this slide on the collaborations. Economic entanglement and cultural as well. So when it comes to the cultural aspects, there is a Maitri Fellowship Program, is a cultural initiative of $11 million to help students, and $3.5 million over 4 years to help future leaders and the mid-career professionals who can engage into the important research initiatives, which is again a drive among Australia and India. Technology and the science sector, the Australian India Strategic Research Funds has forwarded 5.2 million to a grant to Indian students with regard to the research projects. There are many research projects in collaboration with universities as well. So when it comes to the internships or the work integrated learning, these are the part of learning process. So these collaboration makes Australia as a favorable destination to the international student. I will again refer to this slide to elaborate a little more on the economic aspect with regard to the collaboration with India.
Yeah, so as rightly mentioned, so this is just an overview that we wanted to bring to you to understand that, going to Australia, obviously parents would be concerned about how, the risk country being, students are, even the girls are going to this destination. So parents always have in the back of their mind, if it's a bachelor student especially, that, what kind of a country is it and how safe is it for my students. So as mentioned earlier also, the ESOS Act, which is, the act for students, majorly, concerning that the institutions, work in favor of the students. Here again, political collaboration, economic collaboration, technology, culture. This states that, there is a lot of communication going between India and Australia. Henceforth, in Australia is a really safe and good destination with regards to the overall growth as well, which we can see here, plus in terms of student security also. So when your kid goes to the country for the master's or a bachelor degree program, looking at this, you can understand very well that there is a growth that the student would see as an independent person, plus in terms of the return on investment as well.
Now in this slide, I welcome all my audience to kindly put up your questions so that we can address them and help you with the guidance. And let's look forward to have another session. Maybe you can join us through the video session where the counseling team can reach you, guide you, looking at your documents, explain you the eligibility, explain you the process, and start the initiative for the July intake in a very timely manner. So knowing your details is a great appreciation to this presentation and to drive towards July intake. So kindly put up your questions.
Just to add on here, as we've already informed about our Shiksha services, so you send in your documents to us, we'll have a free counseling session, and the WhatsApp number is readily available. So if you send us your documents prior, we'll be in a better position to guide you through. We'll also appreciate a video counseling session so that you and us, we can interact on the same platform and address your queries and guide you through.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gayatri and Mukanksha. And now we are ready for the questions. Student, please post your questions in the question section. And if you want to ask questions directly, please click on the raise hand tab. I will unmute you and you can ask your question. So I'm going to start with the live question first. The student I'm going to unmute is Vishnu Mohan. Vishnu, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Hi, Vishnu. Good evening,
Hello.
Vishnu. How can I help you?
Fine, ma'am. Ma'am, I passed my graduation in 2009. Hello,
Yeah.
can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes.
I passed my graduation in 2009. Now I want to study in post-graduation in Australia. Is it possible to get an admission?
What was the qualification you have completed in 2009?
I am an electrical engineer.
Okay. All right. Which university you have completed it?
I completed my BTech in Pondicherry University.
Okay. It's Pondicherry University?
Yeah.
Okay.
In last
Right.
13 years, I got a job. I am doing a job as
Okay.
an electrical.
Yeah. So Vishnu, if I look at the career, you have done the right qualification and you're into the same sector, right? Naturally, for the career advancement, a master's degree is a genuine requirement. So yes, but as I rightly covered in my previous presentation, that 2009 to till date kindly cover all the activities and the activity needs to be recorded one. So please organize your work table in a proper manner, documented it with the jobs where you were working and today's position. So as you're moving in a relevant direction, the master's degree is a perfect choice for you to go ahead on your career path. So good to go. Just kindly make sure that you're appearing for IELTS and target should be 6.5, nothing less than 6. That's the most important document when you come to the masters, and we are here to help you with. Yes, if I know your percentage and other profile, we can even talk about a scholarship, but after seeing all the documents, the eligibility part can be taken care of.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. I
So we look forward
sent
to
my
look
through
forward
WhatsApp.
to your documents. Yeah,
I sent all my documents through WhatsApp.
Sure.
it's
Okay,
a
ma'am.
pleasure.
It will then you show and after. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. You can send us on the same number on the WhatsApp, and by tomorrow we'll get back to you. We can have a detailed discussion on that.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vishnu. Moving to next student, I am going to unmute Ambika Babu. Ambika, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Ambika.
Yeah, actually, I'm planning to do masters in Australia. I've completed my bachelor's on 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it possible for me to get a
What was
student
the
visa at the age of the
qualification you have completed in 2005?
BBA?
Okay. From which university, please?
Delhi, Delhi Institute of Business Management and Technology.
Delhi Institute of Business and Management Technology. Okay. What was an aggregate?
Yes. Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get you.
What was an aggregate? Percentage of marks you
Yeah,
obtained in your...
actually, yeah, I have got 71%.
Okay. And from 2005 to till date, what's your activities and what have you been doing?
Currently, I'm working as an admin manager for past 3.5 years. So I have an
Okay.
experience of 13 years.
Okay. What qualification you like to pursue?
I'd like to do either a MBA or in like HR management like that.
Okay.
And my question is, no, ma'am, actually my university, I think it's not listed in the news.
Yeah.
We know that. That is why I check your
Yeah.
percentage. So percentage is pretty good, but
Okay.
gradually you have developed your work experience, which makes you a genuine student. That yes, after 13 years plus experience, a master's degree makes sense to me. But as I
Okay.
rightly said, just kindly focus on good English so that we can help you with the top ranked universities with regard to Masters of Business Administration.
Okay, ma'am. But I can go still. I can go still, ma'am. That is for doing masters because my university is not listed. Because most of the consultancy they are saying that I'm not eligible for applying.
So here I would like to add, because see, it's not like straightforward no to any case in Australia. It's about a holistic profile. Although university is not mentioned in the NUSER, but that's the guideline that everybody follows. However, if you can send me your documents on the same email ID, I can have it referred, checked with the universities as well, since we have direct, tie-ups with the university. Plus an English score, if you get an English score of, 6.5 and above, that could still help because you've been working, so your work experience is over 13 years now, right? So that's a
Yes,
value
ma'am.
addition to the profile. So we definitely can still try. I would not guarantee anything at this point of time, but I would still like to have a view to your document so that I can confirm you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, then I'll send all my documents to this mail ID.
Please do that, and I'll come back to you by the end of the day tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ambika. I'll take a question from the chat. This question seems to be very interesting. Students who have already pursued master and want to do a double master, is it still the admission process and the application process is going to be easy, or is there going to be a lot of checks and balances for students who would like to do a double master, who already have a master's from India and want to do another master's from Australia?
So with regards to double master's degree, so profile check in Australia is same for even if you're going for a single master's or double master, there has to be a genuine intention for you to study a double master degree. So for example, if you're recent pass out looking for another master's degree, there has to be a very, very strong reason wherein, if you completed like say in 2021 only, like, and you would want to go for another master 2022, there has been no experience in between, you've not explored, so how would you show your intention for another master's degree then? So if you have a valid reason, work experience, or any certification course that you've done during this point of time, or have done maybe some internships wherein in the field of interest, that can be looked into. But definitely yes, a reason, a very, very strong valid reason has to be addressed in case you're looking for a double master's degree.
Okay.
So again, a
Moving
case
to,
by,
yeah, sorry.
no, that's okay. This is also a case by case. So every profile is individual, that can be addressed in case you are still willing to go, and you want to find an option. You can send us your details so that we can have a look and we can give you more details on that.
Okay. Another question, this is from Aksa, and student has asked that student is keen in doing a bachelor's in computer science program. So the students wanted to know that what would be the eligibility criteria if a student wants to apply for the bachelor's in computer science program with scholarship.
So over here, Lakshmi, we would like to understand what are the subjects he's studying. That's one. PCM is the most important element. So the map performance in maths will be taken into account because you're looking for the computer science. So just kindly, take care on the subjects, PCM subjects, what is the aggregate comes to. Basis on that, eligibility criteria can be taken into account to the respective universities. Yes, and if there is a high percentage in the three major subjects, he can certainly target to a scholarship. But first thing first, let's establish the eligibility criteria and to guide him further to the scholarship. Another aspect which is important with regard to Australia is the age factor. So just kindly check on age as well, because under 18 has a little lengthier process than the normal one. So we need to understand all the aspects when it comes to the counseling and the guidance and admission process to the undergraduate students.
Also, in addition to this, some of the universities for computer science, can ask for a higher IELTS requirement as well. So because it's a very demanding program, plus it involves a lot of programming. So you need to go and check in particular universities, and you can get connected with us in case you need some specific information. There are a lot of specializations also in the particular program of study. And the benefit is that Australian universities, they are ACAs, as an Australian Computer Society accredited for the computer science program. So you can get in touch with us with the details that we've shared with you, and we can give you more insights and guide you better.
Okay. I'm going to take a live question now. So the student I'm going to unmute is Abha Sharma. Abha, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Abha Sharma, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Abha.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Ma'am, actually, I had done my 12th in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And now I am planning for my further studies in Australia. And I had just completed my IELTS and got 5.5 in reading, but overall it's 6.5. So can I pursue for further studies?
When did you complete you said you completed class 12 in 2020, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do post 2020? Any certification program? Did you enroll in any Indian university?
I had enrolled in Kurukshetra University and I had done my graduation first year there.
Okay. And see, the ideal requirement for IELTS is 6 overall with a minimum band score of 6 that, generally required. with the 5.5 show, we would definitely recommend you to reattempt your English examination. Why, I would tell you. So there is a very strong reason. In case you go and study English program there, you would invest about 4 to 5 lakh rupees, wherein, you give an English examination here, it's just about 15,000. So this is a very strong reason. The embassy would also want you to reappear here and, most likely see your intention to go abroad and invest your money in a good and right exam. So we would suggest you appear for it again. If not IELTS, appear for PTE. You can check the course module for PTE as well, but definitely. Secondly, if I talk about your gap, so you would have to portray all your mark sheets as well. That would be required in terms, to cover up all your gap. And you'll have to also share a reason for why you want to leave your studies here and go abroad now.
Yeah, this part is naturally very important because you're a continuing student. So you need to justify that why are you leaving the studies in between.
Was it a similar program that you're looking for now in Australia?
Abha, you're there?
Abha, I think you're on mute again. Please unmute yourself. I guess there is some connectivity issue. No problem.
Okay.
I'll move on to the next question. Abha, you can meanwhile post your question in the question section. All these
Lakshmi,
questions that you have.
her, in case she's studying the program and the program she's looking for in Australia is similar, we can also help her with the credit transfer. So she can send us her documents so that we can guide her better. But we would need all the gap evidence.
Sure. I think there's some connectivity issue at her end. I do not see that student anymore. But anyways, I will move on to the next student. The student I'm going to unmute is Jagdeep Malhotra. Jagdeep, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Jagdeep, please unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted to check for undergraduate. Is it the BTech is called BTech in Australia also, or is it a Bachelor of Science like a 4 years engineering course?
You mean the name of the course?
Yes, while selecting the course, how do we know that is it equivalent to BTech what we are normally apply for engineering colleges in India?
So there are as in both kind of program. You get bachelors of technology also, and you get bachelors of engineering also. Bachelors of engineering is more popular and widely available in universities in Australia. But I don't get your question. Like, why is this a concern?
No, because whether we are choosing the right course or no, that is like
So it's not with the name of the
normally,
program. The
yeah, name of
right.
the program, whether it's an engineering course or it's a Bachelor of Science course, what is the course?
No, so it will be Bachelors of Sciences, it will be clearly mentioned. If it's an engineering program, mostly engineering program in Australia, they are accredited by the Engineer Society. So that's the benefit. You will check the course curriculum and the accreditation, and the benefits you will get would be with those requirements. So if it's a
So
Bachelors of Science, you're Bachelors of Science. Mostly it's
okay.
Bachelors of Engineering.
So is it the Bachelor of Science equivalent to BSc in India, and similarly BTech is similar to engineering in India? Is it the same nomenclature we follow in Australia also?
Yeah, engineering would be a 4-year degree, right? It will give you an accreditation from the Engineer Society of Australia as well. Most of the universities would do that. Bachelors of Science would not be an engineering degree. So it's similar. The concept is similar.
Okay, like BSc here. So
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
we require IELTS or PT or both?
Either one.
Either one of them. Okay. And on what basis we select the universities? Like we are a little confused which one to choose in, which one not to choose in, and whether
Once
the
we
Australia is the right destination compared to like US or UK and other places. So
would like to see your +2 documents to establish the eligibility and give you the filters which all universities can accept your profile, and you can avail some scholarship and other benefits to you as well. So kindly proceed your documents and IELTS score.
no, actually I'm looking for my kid who is studying in 12th and passing out the 12th this year. Probably his examination are scheduled for May.
Okay. So
So
destination, sir,
for the July or August onwards, I'm looking for the course BTech or something like that.
so there are a lot of factors, sir, that you filter while making a decision for the country. So I think we can have a one-on-one because it needs a very detailed explanation on which country would, because you're still in the research phase, right? So probably
Yeah.
I think we have a session scheduled for as a one-on-one so that we can give you more information on which country suits better, and the which program would suit him better. Of course, we would
No,
need to know his.
okay, fine. In let's say we zero down on Australia, but which city or which university would be ideally suited? That is also a little confusion is there.
That would depend upon his class 12 grading, sir, and also on the IELTS requirement. It also depends upon a lot of factors. If he or she has a you have relatives there, so of course that side. Otherwise, there are a lot of key factors and unique points of every destination. So Melbourne has its own point, Sydney has its own point. Likewise, there are other locations. Like we mentioned about regional areas, also that gives you extra benefit. So I think
No,
it's a very
we do
detailed discussion.
we do have a relative there. That is the reason it has Australia become more preferred destination.
I agree, sir. So it actually requires a detailed discussion, sir, which might not be relevant to the wide audience here. So probably we can
Okay.
connect. You can drop in your details on email or on WhatsApp, and we would definitely connect back to you.
All right, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jagdeep. I'll take a few more questions from the chat now. So this question has been asked by student Sam. Student has said that I'm a postgraduate where my MBA was in correspondence, which was completed in 2011. I have a work experience of 11 plus years. Will I be eligible for a master's study in Australia now? My education and experience both are in finance, and I'm looking for a similar field of study, finance, business, or fintech.
So the distance education actually does not play a major role in filtering out universities or study in Australia. So your full-time studies does matter. With 11 years of experience, definitely yes, you have a really strong profile. Your academic, of course, would really matter. Your IELTS would also matter for us to qualify some universities for you. But yes, you might apply for Australian universities, but we would need more information from you because this is a very generic statement. So you send us your documents either on the mobile or on email so that we can get back to you, contact you directly with more information and discuss in detail.
Okay. Moving to next question is regarding the cost of living. What about the cost of living and part-time jobs in Australia?
Okay, I think we can go on that slide that we have for part-time.
As far as the living is concerned, it's 21,041. It's the standard living cost which High Commission is looking for from the international student side. That's one. Part-time work, yes, it's officially allowed the moment you finish your enrollment with the respective institution. And from the part-time, you can manage your living cost. So the part-time work and now the limit are furthermore extended to students. So you have a good opportunity to manage your living cost.
Okay. I'll move on to the next question. Just a minute. So this question has been asked by Tridivesh Roy, and the student has asked, ma'am, if you can explain what is the scope of agribusiness management in Australia. Secondly, is a work experience of working in the family business would be a valid work experience?
So I'll come one by one. With regard to agribusiness, yes, people can work into the various sectors. Those can be into economic planning, agricultural planning, social circle, in fact, social auditing, and agricultural consultant. And there are lots of initiatives which I have shown under the collaboration sector where Australian government is also putting up some efforts in research line. So developing the new breeds, new crops, all these are the part of research. So yes, immense scopes are available in this particular sector. And second question where you were asking about, I'm missing. The second question was into?
The work experience of working in the family business would be a valid work experience.
With regard to the family business, the first thing comes, it has to be documented. So the documentation, which is electronically verified, is the ITRs. So if he is engaged into the family business, ask him to submit the income tax return and he can show income under the family business. It has to show some documentation. Or even nationalized bank salary account can also be added in it.
Okay, I'll take the next question now. This question is regarding medicine programs. So there are 2-3 students who have asked question. What about the programs that are medicine based in Australia, and how can we apply for such programs in Australia? And is medicine a very prominent field in Australia to study?
So with regards to this Bachelor's of Medicine, this is a very competitive exam. The course actually. This is available in Australia, but the cutoff is really high. So student needs to score somewhere above 90%, and the IELTS requirement is also high. Some universities take a similar 6.5 score. That's way above the normal requirement for a bachelor degree student. And the seats are very limited. So and you have to appear for some of the examinations. You can also refer to the Bachelor's of Medicine program in Australia on our studyabroad.shiksha.com website. You would find a lot of details with regards to the university, with regards to the tuition fee, with regards to the entry requirement and details. So that can help.
Okay, I'll take the last question now, and this question is regarding the process for applying to. Okay, this question is regarding if a student applies to a university in Australia, how much time on an average does the university take in replying back or coming with an answer to the students?
So basically, the processing time for universities in Australia is between 1 to 2 weeks. That varies from universities to universities, but yeah, it's comparatively reasonable in comparison to a lot of other destinations.
To get the prompt answer, it is very important that you should provide the complete documentation in one go. So then the expertise comes. So please get in touch to understand the document checklist and understand what are the documents which is essential when it comes to the part of application. The delay happens when you don't submit the complete documentation. To avoid the delay, it's good to follow the expertise and follow the guidelines in one go and submit everything in one way.
Also, since we have direct tie-ups with the universities, we work hand in hand with them, so we are generally in a better position to give you a response and the outcome on the same. So even if we are stuck somewhere, we can have that done by the universities through our representation. And it's not only in Australia, we have connections and tie-ups with the industry universities, across. Like we've already explained to you, so we have a lot of 10 plus countries where we can guide you and we can assist you. So you can always reach us directly through our website as well. That's the right platform wherein you can create your profile and always put out your queries to us. And it's a free service to all the students out there. It's from the admission that we help you with the shortlisting of the universities, guiding on to the right direction, be it university, be it the course, then what is the admission step, what are the requirement documents. If there's an interview with the universities, we help you with that. We have a dedicated team who looks after your SOP documentation. So you prepare it, they guide you better, they streamline it as per the university country requirement. Then we go through the financial requirement, wherein again we'll guide you. We also have a tie-up with HDFC Credila. You can always fill up our education loan form on our website. That can help you better. And the best thing is you apply through us, you have an offer letter. and you can connect to HDFC for the loan processing, and then we take it to the visa processing. So complete process we do.
Okay. With this, we have come to the end of the session, and I would like to thank both Gayatri and Akanksha for taking out time today and doing this wonderful, informative session for all of us. Students, please don't worry if there were some questions we were not able to take and we missed. Do not worry, your details will be shared with the Australian counseling team at Shiksha, and they'll get in touch with you as soon as possible. And meanwhile, you can see the contact details on your screen. If you want to save, you can save it. You can post your questions along with the document so that the counseling team here at Shiksha is able to understand your requirements and are able to help you and assist you better in a better way to apply to you to the Australian universities. Now, before we end the session, I will request Gayatri or Akanksha to please share some words that can really help students or motivate them when they are looking at applying to universities in Australia. Please.
Yeah, as we emphasized in the slides as well, we will again request you to kindly get in touch with the experts and understand the documents, the most important document which are part of your application process, to speed up the process and ease it. The complete application certainly gives you a good, quick return with regard to offer of admissions. The moment you have an offer of admission, then naturally we can move on to the next stage, which is acceptance, visa processing, and understanding and guiding you towards the financial documents which are part of student visa process. So good to start, understand the eligibility, the documents which are essential for starting your applications, followed by acceptance and the visa documentation.
Just to add on, every profile is unique, so you can contact us on the below details. Apply now on the Shiksha website, and we'll get back to you with more information in one-on-one sessions. You can always utilize our a video conferencing session, which would be of great help. So looking forward to see responses from you all, and we'll connect.
Thank you so much, Gayatri and Akanksha. And with this, I now end the session. And student, as I shared, you will be contacted by the Shiksha counseling team as soon as possible, and your queries will be shared with them. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening ahead, everyone, and take care of yourself. Be safe, and bye-bye.
Thank you.